John, is Sam an option for tomorrow?
Sam, he's an option, yes.
Sean Couturier was he's missing
Maintenance today. Yeah, just a little maintenance.
You talked a little bit about, I think in the preseason, about the power play group you guys have, getting input from everyone. How do you see where the power play is right now, and have there been any further meetings with that whole big group?
Yeah, they were on the ice the other day, as a matter of fact. Danny, Johnny Leclerc, Patrick Sharp, before our practice the other day. Most of them are in for pro scouts meetings we have here. They're on the ice. They watched our practice. Rocky's had a meeting with them. That is constant. It's really neat. It hasn't proved as beneficial as we like. We certainly like to see it more consistent. And I guess that's the answer to your question. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, I guess what are you've got Emil in there as a new. Mm-hmm. He's still kind of getting used to being the quarterback at the NHL level, I guess. How have you seen him adapting to that? And
struggles. He started off really good, but it's been a little bit of a struggle. And tried Sandy there a little bit because he's just playing that well. So we continue to work at it. It's all we can do, but I'm certainly not going to give it a glowing report because it hasn't been. It's been inconsistent.
We talked about 3-on-3 overtime. You guys worked on it today, defending. Can a guy like Mishkov sometimes cover up for some of the defensive issues because he's finishing? Like if he doesn't finish, the play goes back the other way.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We're not trying to turn this into defending, and we're just trying to get some sort of comfort level, especially for Mish. A lot of it, like we made a change today to make it easier for him because I'm using him, right? And I just want him to understand some sort of concept of when we don't have the puck. We're going to wing it. We're going to take chances, and we're not going to play safe. But I just want a little bit of a foundation for him. I didn't like how it started today, but as we went through a number of rotations, especially at Mish, it got better. So just a foundation and see where it goes.
John, you can maybe in the day-to-day just kind of get laser focused on the issues with the team now and whatnot, but talking about 3-on-3, your first year here, you were rolling with 2 defensemen regularly for basically the entire second half of the year. Does it speak to the progress you guys are making in terms of team building that now you're focused on taking chances?
And that's that's how we've kind of gone along here as far as building our team, adding people, young guys improving. An addition of a Mishkov, which is we knew he'd be a huge part of our 3-on-3 and our power play. 5-on-5, we knew there was going to be some ups and downs with him, as there has been. But you keep on adding these people, and that's part of the whole building process. I remember us using 2D. I'm not sure what the combinations I was using back then. Casey was a big part of our offense at that point in time, and I think he is. I think he's getting chances. I really like the line that he's playing on, but I relied on him for everything. I remember back in the day, my first year. So slowly but surely, it's come along here, and I'm sure it's not as fast as some people would like it to be. But when you have a lot of things to deal with as far as cap, dead money, all that stuff that we have to deal with here, it takes time, and we're going to continue to try to keep our eye on the ball as far as rebuilding this team the proper way.
And kind of sticking with the overtime, I talked to Morgan in the locker room kind of about defending and how teams can kind of get stuck out there, and he kind of jokingly mentioned, teams going back and forth over the line to kind of reset. How do you, when guys get stuck out there, how do you kind of balance that? Because they're obviously tired, and it's a little bit hard to get those gaps and just find ways to defend that way so you can get the puck back.
Yeah, it's a great question because when you change, you're screwed. If you're not changing at the proper time, it turns into an odd man rush. When you shoot a puck wide, it's an odd man rush, and you get caught tired out there defending in your end. So we talk about you simply have to learn to play tired. We talk about that in 5-on-5 play, that just don't give into it. And sometimes it's a little bit in 5-on-5. We just talk about holding the middle of the ice. It's hard to do that 3-on-3. You're screwed. When you're tired, you're screwed. But you got to find a way to do the best you can until you have a chance to come off. That's the greatest thing about 3-on-3 is you never know what the hell's going to happen, and it's usually something you're either getting a great chance, the other team's getting a great chance, and that's what 3-on-3 is about.
Do you have an explanation for why you guys have been playing so many overtimes, or do you think it's just random?
No, I think we play to the end. We keep on trying if we're losing, and I have no explanation. How many have we played?
8, 12.
Yeah. I have no idea. Maybe the analytical people can talk to you about that. I don't know.
Well, is it some? I just asked Owen about it. Is it something where, like, you give up that late goal against St. Louis, and because you've played so much and you've had success with it, does it kind of change? You don't have that maybe body language, doubt, negative.
No, we don't. Yeah, we have some resiliency. I mean, we've chased games this year, and I think that one of the biggest things we've had a lead here occasionally in some of these games. I forget which game. We got to learn how to play with a lead, because a lot of times we don't have the lead. So those are all parts of the game as you get better and your team is progressing, is going through some of these things that you're not used to. But as I've said to you all the time, when we're down, team's still going to play. And I think that's what keeps us in this situation and maybe getting it to the overtime. And again, I think the game should end on an overtime shot win instead of the shootout, but we've been involved in those too.
The rosters will be announced later tonight, and you mentioned how great it is for the players. For you as a coach, how important is it to, what does it mean to you to be representing the United States?
Oh God, it's always to represent your country. It's always an honor. My son's been in the military for 12, 13 years, so we keep a close eye, and we have a lot of good friends within the military all over the place. So it's an honor. For me personally on this one here, because I thought I've had my chances, I've done it. I think other people need to get a turn, but when it comes to Mike Sullivan, who calls me, who started with me as an assistant coach, and it's kind of gone full circle, it's something I'm very fortunate to have, is to coach with him in a different role and support him. So that's what kicked it over for me, was Sully called, and when Sully calls, I'll do anything for that guy. He means that much to me. So country and Sully, it's a no-brainer for me. Very honored.
Are you looking forward to being an assistant coach, maybe, and not the head coach?
I think I'll be assistant coach. Yeah, I do. I think about that. I try to think about what my role is and how I have to handle myself. But I'll handle it the right way. But I'm not so sure I'll be a really good assistant coach. And I don't think he's really looking for it that way. I don't think any of the staffs are going to be that way. It's going to be, it'll be all of us together doing the things. So, but it's an honor to back 9 in my career, pretty much close to being done with it, and to be able to do it with your country again and do it with one of my best friends. Absolutely, I love it.
What kind of challenges? I mean, it's a short tournament, so it's not like you have all season to kind of figure things out. It's very short and very quick decision-wise. And what kind of challenges are there?
Yeah.
When you do have such a short window to turn things around, maybe if needed.
Yeah, and we've had conference calls. We just had one on Sunday, I think it was, just the coaches, and we talked about not overcoaching, not giving them too much information. And the way you have to do it, the way we're approaching is we'll send them some tape in January sometime, look at their schedules and certain players where there's a little bit of a gap where they can look at some tape on their phone and kind of introduce just a little bit of a foundation of how we want to play. But when you play, it's the biggest thing here, it's their show. I hope all teams show off their skill. That's what this is about. It's not about coaching every dot the I, cross the T. It's about getting out of their way and letting them play. Because you're going to have some pretty great players on one sheet of ice from both teams, no matter what game it is, playing against one another. So it's about them. We need to coach it and give them a foundation, but then we need to step back and let them play.
You and Mike have stayed in touch then through the years? Like,
Oh,
you're
God,
really
yeah.
close.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is there just a similarity between the two of you, the way you coach, the way you...
Well, when he coached with me, when he came with me, he wanted to define everything that went on that ice. He wanted a rod hockey game out there. He wanted to make sure if puck is here, you're there. He dotted every I and crossed every damn T. And And I did it as a young coach too. But then when I felt I started evolving about getting out of the way more, I think I had to coach him a little bit in that. He may not admit to that, but when he was my assistant, he wasn't my assistant. When he was my co-coach, I learned so much from him. And I was nervous when I got gassed out of Vancouver after a year, and Sully had followed me around on 2 or 3 different teams. We both talked, because we knew we were getting fired before they fired us. We knew we were going, and we already had talked about we got to split up, and he's got to get about his business. And that guy, and this is where I respect him so much. He went to I think it was a player development with Chicago. Picked up a ring. They won a Stanley Cup. I think they gave him a ring. Went to the minors, where some coaches' egos would be a little bit too big to do that, and they'd wait around and maybe try to get their name out. He grinded away until he got his opportunity. And that's what I respect about that guy, is he's not afraid of that stuff. He understands that you need to continue evolving as a coach. And he's one of my best buddies, if not the one, and I learned so much from him. But I hope he learned from me that don't overcoach, because I think we do. I think we all go in with that, is we think we have to be involved in everything, and I don't think you have to.
You've been in these tournaments a bunch. You've coached against your players. We don't know the rosters yet. They'll be announced later today. But there is a possibility of at least 3 Flyers being in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like coaching against your own players? And do you maybe not give every secret away about maybe a guy or what to do against them?
We're trying to win. We're trying to kick the shit out of them. We're going to play them. If they're on Canada, we're trying to beat Canada. And that's where you try to win. It's your country. And there's no secrets with me. We'll see where it goes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he ended up with something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Something tightened up on him. I'm not sure where it is. I wouldn't tell you anyway. But I'm not sure where he's at. Yeah, but it happened. I think it happened when he was shooting early in practice. Then it got worse as practice went on. So I'm not sure where he's at.